Hey guys, how's it going? So today I'm going to be showing you how to do the JACKSPANIA rear diff trailing mount for the all-wheel drive rear diff assembly. We got to cut it, we got to weld it, and we need to fabricate it. So here we go. Alright guys, so I kind of got it mocked up. So here we go. You gotta bolt these on. I hit the rear diff right there. I just rebuilt it. So this is gonna mount like this. You got some spacers, the diff mounts in the middle. You have the excess side. You can also do a sway if you have one. I'm not running one. And then what we gotta do is we gotta cut out the rear sub in this. I still have the factory drums on yet, but for reference until you see it, get it all together. This is the old tie bar or subframe brace. So we'll kind of just go off these. Per se, there should be a couple holes in the subframe down below where I'm not getting under it just yet. I gotta clean off stuff from welding in the cage. So there should be 2 factory mounts. I'm gonna cut in between there. I'm gonna notch the subframe, and then we will go from there. I'm probably gonna mount the diff and everything and then weld after. Maybe. I haven't decided yet. So here we are, guys, back under the car. You see these 2 holes up here? We got this one and this one. We're gonna be cutting that out in between. And then we're gonna tuck it up, and then we're gonna plate it across, and we gotta cut it out back here as well, so that way we can have clearance. We could hammer it if we want to, but what fun is that? I still gotta cut the backside, but here's reference. I did the 2 slats and I cut that. I might have to chop them down a little more. I guess we'll see. All right, well, let's get back to her. So I got it marked up. I cut that out, and I just got it held up with 2 bolts at the moment. I wanted to place out the rear diff and make sure that I got all my angles right for when I go to cut the trunk. Right out the box, just assembled, cut out, stuck it on there. She's looking real good. Top quality product. All right, guys, so I kind of feel like a dink. I forgot I was doing a how-to. I cut a hole in the trunk for space in the rear mount, and I was like, just started welding this up. I'm just flux coring it because it really doesn't need anything super worn. But I completely box welded it per se, and then I just stitched welded it on that side, but like the pertaining sides are completely closed. And then here, you know, I just kind of tacked it up. I fit it up bar first to see how it fit, and from there, you know, I trimmed it down a little, got the plates up in there, used some C-clamps, connected them to the rails, and then pretty much fit everything. I Loctited all the bolts, went to put it in. I got these 2 top mounts in, and I had to pull one out to do a mount bolt. So just keep that in mind. You can fit it, leave one out, so that way you can, with the spacer, the aluminum spacer, so that way you can get the top mount in for the rear diff. As you can see, it's hanging there. My apologies, but it's the gist of it, and let's keep going. So I don't have editing software per se, so I'll do a lot of stop stitch cuts. But these, I'm gonna box weld in, then I'm gonna put this back on, mount it, and then I'll weld it to the frame. But yeah. little titanium 125 Harbor Freight welder. I love this thing, especially for exhaust jobs and stuff. I use Lincoln Electric inner shield. It doesn't splatter a whole hell of a lot, and you get some pretty decent welds out of it. These aren't really cleaned up yet, it's still warm. Alright guys, so I got it installed already. Here's an update on it. Let's see here. So I cut this out. I'm gonna order the JACKSPANIA cover, but I'm also gonna put the fuel cell in underneath here. So I gotta figure out if I'm gonna run the cover or not. But it is installed. As you see, everything's box welded, stitched on this side, completely welded on the other side. And then down here, if you look, you can see how it's mounted. I welded the plates onto the bar first with that mount. So I did all that first before I tied it in. Jacked it up, got the angle that I would like. Everything is pretty simple to bolt together. I kind of had to call it quits earlier because even as a fabricator, we make stupid mistakes and wear non-PPE clothing that are fleece lined. So I got myself on fire. But yeah. So much for the install. But you know, it's straight to the point. It's honestly a lot like the what is it, PLM and the Hub City Performance Kit. It's damn near a splitting image. Overall, install, fitment, everything was how it should be. The only thing I had to do was like cut down the bar, and then it all comes nice and fresh. The plates they have like a galvanized layer to them, so when you get them, they're oiled. It does help to take a flat wheel grinder, you know, something of that nature to it. But I did notice with the kit, there's these two bolts that are left over. I'm not sure if they're just for the back plates or not. But what's nice about it, it does have your sway bar mount. So if you choose to put one in, you can. Or like here, I'll show you what I did. I just installed them to the top placement right there. And for the most part, I backed all these out, went in individually Loctited them, red Loctite. So when you go to mount it, you gotta beat or cut out the top part. So lift your differential up, mount it here, and then just kind of let it drop down to get your angle. Take your Sharpie to that black plate that you see there above the axle input and just line it up. You can see where I got my idea for the measurements I'm cutting. And then those holes on the underside of the subframe, if you cut to the outside plate, you'll be fine. And there it is. Finished product, guys.